I'm not going to be getting into like super tech specs like, oh man, the cylinders are made out of gold, platinum plated. I don't care. I care about what it feels like. And I feel like there's a missing demographic of people that are 5'10" and taller and have some mass to them. Not necessarily even overweight, but like someone that is 5'10" and 180 pounds of muscle and, and some cookies. Hey everyone, it's Tristan from Crafting Worlds again, and today we're just going to talk about my Aeron. A couple of comments. We're curious about this bad boy, so I figured, since we're on that chair journey, looking for the chair that will actually replace the Herman Miller Aeron, I figured why not talk about the Herman Miller Aeron and why I am trying to replace it in the first place. Especially when there's like so many, everybody's like, oh my God, the Herman Miller Aeron, it is the gold standard. Just a little background. I've worked quite a few jobs. The one job that I think has the most impact on my seating and like how spoiled I am by seating was when I worked at Blizzard. So this is not a flex. This is just like the truth of the situation. Hi. Basically, when we got to Blizzard, when we got our positions, we were cinematic directors, and we came into the office and they rolled in 4 chairs. I didn't know anything about chairs. I was young. I was like 24. And they were like, pick a chair that you like. And I was like, okay. So I just sat in a couple chairs, and the Herman Miller Aeron was one of them. And I was like, oh, I like this one. It's cool. The mesh, it feels nice. It's soft. It feels like a good chair. And so that's the one I picked. And that's the one I went with for my 5 years at Blizzard. And I remember when they left, they rolled out all these chairs. It was very weird. It was a very surreal situation. But they rolled out all these chairs, and I was like, what just happened? And we looked them up, and we were like, oh my God, these are expensive. So that was like a royal treatment. So I've had exposure to some amazing chairs. I couldn't tell you what the other brands were. I just know that this one was in it, and this is the one that I got. So when I came and I made my own office, I decided to get one for myself. And I did buy it brand new, but I bought it. This is the classic. So I bought this about 10 years ago, maybe a little less, 9 years ago. And it was, I think it cost me it's around $1,200 for it fully loaded, I believe. Maybe even a little less. Could be $900, not positive. And that felt like a good price to pay for a chair like this with a 12-year warranty. Herman Miller is really renowned for their warranty services. I actually just put in another warranty service for this because I needed to have this replaced. This arm gets loose, and I wanted the seat pan replaced, and they're also going to replace the hydraulics because of age. So they're awesome. They just ask for some pictures, and they go from there. And they send a guy to your house and fix it right up, and it's amazing. And I know that the new Herman Miller Aerons are refreshed, but you have to think about the amount of classics out there, because Herman Miller was started more than 20 years ago, I believe. Don't quote me exactly, but it's been a long time that they've existed. And so they're classic. There's hundreds and thousands of these across the globe in offices everywhere. So I don't think the classic Aeron is going to go out of style anytime soon, because you can refurbish these chairs and you can replace them. You can get replacement parts. And I think that's going to continue for a while before the new version really, takes over. And to be honest, the difference between the two are negligible. So if you can find a really good sale on a classic, I would. Honestly, any Herman Miller Aeron, I would say, as long as it's within warranty and you can use that warranty, absolutely get it used, because you will save a lot of money, and their warranty is just fantastic. So you can trust it. Good customer service, all that. So that aside, although that is a main point to the Herman Miller Aeron. You're buying it not only for the chair and the quality of the chair, but you're buying it for the customer service and that warranty, because you can trust it. It's a trusted name brand and all of that. You all know that I think the Embody at $2,100 with tax without any sales is insane. So not a Herman Miller fanboy, so to say. I just have sat in a Herman Miller Aeron for majority of my time behind a desk, and it's worked for me up until now. Let's talk about a couple of the features that I really like, though. So on this chair, I actually got the Atlas headrest, and it just attaches to the back here, and it's enough cushion, and it just, I don't know. I like to have a little bit of, I put it right in the neck, and I just like to, if I'm gonna, relax a little bit, watch a movie, I can just lean on it. I like to have a little bit of a headrest. I don't need it to be aggressive or anything like that, and I don't really need one in general. I just like it. So I ended up buying this probably 4 years ago, and it works really well. I enjoy it. It's very easy to adjust. Goes up, down, comes out, goes back in. I've just messed up all my settings, but yeah, it's comfortable. I would not recommend working like this, but when you get tired, your neck's tired, you just lean back and you can do it. Some chairs don't offer that. So the chair itself makes some creaks now after 9 years, but I would say it's pretty silent. Like normal stuff. Like you're not gonna, luckily, like normal movement, it's not really making that much noise, which is good. That was weird, right? And so that's also awesome. The arm pads are soft. Oh my God, Kat, you covered me in hair. The arm pads are super soft, squishy. They have the in, the out, and then you can raise them up and down. Not a lot. And I do find that I've actually had to replace this arm a couple times. I'm actually having it replaced again because it comes loose, and that happens, and it just won't lock. This is a weird mechanism for the Classic, and I don't know if they fixed it in the revised version, but not a huge fan of the mechanism here because it has a tendency to break. But these are solid. There's no shake, nothing. It's not like what I showed you in the last video. So it's just a solid chair. Like, it feels solid. It puts you into an ergonomic position. Okay. So when you sit in this chair, you're like, okay, I'm going to sit in my chair. And it's like, boom, you are in. It is hugging your butt, putting your legs here. Your feet are down. Your back is lumbar supported. It's like in there, right in the right spot. And if you want, you can adjust the lumbar on the lower part. I actually keep it a little bit loose. I don't need that much because the curve of the mesh is already there. I'll actually show you that. So you can see that I don't know if you can see that, but there is a curve here. So it comes down like that, but it's right in the right spot, right here, above the belt, not in your butt, which is exactly where it's supposed to be. And then there's a little bit of support if you want to add to your tailbone. Very important. So it's these little things that it just works. And you're like, okay, cool. The casters are good. Rolls on the carpet, not a problem. Awesome. And it's just solid. The base is super solid. The base is made out of metal and the wheels roll really well. And it's just a solidly built tank. This thing has lasted me for a while. The mesh will harden over time. You will start to get a little bit of disintegration on the mesh, and that's okay. It doesn't change the integrity of the chair. So why do you not want to use it anymore, Tristan? Okay, so the main reason I don't want to use it anymore is because, as I get older and, I do work out and I enjoy pushing myself to, the limits. I get back pain now more often than I wish to, accept. And I've tried a lot of things. Like, I've tried seat cushions, like expensive, stupid ones from Cushion Lab, and put it on there. And unfortunately, once you do that, it ruins the ergonomics. The way the seat is formed, it's now in my butt. Like, it's not in the right spot. It's on the little butt bone. And so it just ruins the whole form of the chair. Also, these things, while they say they're great, they bottom out. I have two kinds. I bought one from Amazon. This is like $10. This is like $100. The $100 one actually bottoms out faster than the $10 one. But they do. You sit there for 10 minutes, and because it's memory foam, over time, it's just goosh, goodbye. And the back of it is thinner. than the front of it. I could make a whole review on these different cushions and how none of them are good. But yeah, that's a whole other thing. But I did try that first because I was like, okay, maybe I can just put a cushion and it'll help with like the sciatic pain. But what it comes down to is that it's just, if I'm not sitting perfectly ergonomically in this chair, and this, you'll hear this from a lot of people, it punishes you. And it's not in a bad way, not like, oh, you bad boy, you weren't sitting properly, we're going to have to, okay, we get where we're going here. What it does is okay, so let's say you put a foot up like I do often. So I have my shoes on because I don't want to hurt myself, but you see the hard plastic here, like your foot goes right onto that. And then your leg goes right onto that. That hurts like hell. So it's literally saying, no, don't do that, which is good, actually. You want a chair to do that. So if you want your office workers and everybody to work and just work and be in the right position, then buy them all Aerons. But if you're your own business owner and you not only work at your desk, but also consume media and food, and just relax, you're probably going to want either two chairs, one to swap in between, which is what I currently have now. I use a main gear gaming chair that's just fluffy and comfortable. And then I've got this for when I'm working during the day. The problem is that after a workout, the seat is just so, like, a mesh seat is different. It suspends you a little bit. It doesn't have a bottoming out feel. You don't ever feel like you are in pain. Your butt doesn't ever hurt. But, however, it does feel as though it compresses your lower spine area. There's no science to back this up, by the way. This is just me and what I think. I think it just compresses that back area, that sciatic area, and it just makes it hurt because you're sitting on something that is not plush. And so over time, it's almost like sitting on concrete for X amount of time. And I don't know how to explain it other than it just starts to hurt and it starts to like radiate the pain a little bit more than I wish. And on the softer chair, that tends to stop because you can move around more. It's not as constricting and telling you how to sit. And so you can keep the movement going and it'll allow your lower back to keep movement going. And now you could solve this problem just by getting up more often than you do. And I should say I do, but I don't do that. And so I would like a chair that supports longer sitting sessions. I know, terrible, but I do want that. Even if that means, like the Fern has the forward tilt, and I think that's a great functionality. Now, this chair does not push you out. You do not ever feel like you're falling out. It kind of pushes you back into it to make you maintain that ergonomic position. So overall, the chair itself is very comfortable. Airflow is fantastic because the whole thing is mesh. I mean, it's a really nice mesh. It feels really good. It doesn't snag clothing. It doesn't rip. It doesn't tear. I have cats. They don't wreck it. They can't claw through it. It is a strong mesh. The chair itself is solid. Gets a little noisy over time. This is 9 years, so it's a little bit noisier than it was when I first got it. But overall, like you could even call Herman Miller and be like, hey, my chair is making way too much noise. And they'll replace the parts that it needs to be. So that's what's happening right now. I'm getting some parts replaced to hopefully give it a little bit more life. But even sitting here and talking to you, I have my arms on the armrest and it just feels comfortable. There's no pain in my elbows. I'm sinking into the padding and it feels great. And these have never had to be replaced, the pads. So, and you can really, I love the in and out. That to me is important. Like this working, this not working. And that's fantastic. And here comes another cat. Okay. So obviously daddy's working, so we have to talk to him. But yeah, I spend a lot of time in the main gear gaming chair just because I can move around, and for like, when I'm not working, I will swap over to that. When I'm watching a movie, I'll swap over to that. But that thing has no ergonomic support, and it's just, I need a chair that kind of is a hybrid between a gaming chair and a Herman Miller chair. So That's why I'm thinking about a softer cushion. I do like leather. I think there's something to be said about a leather chair holding the cushion in versus just a fabric chair that holds, just the fabric surrounding a cushion. I think that the leather holds it in better so you don't bottom out as fast. And yeah, I like the Herman Miller Aeron. It has done me very well over the years, and I would recommend it to anyone looking at a chair who doesn't have back issues like chronic lower back pain. I would highly recommend this chair. So also, if you're younger, this is a great chair. And if you just want to get work done and you don't cross your legs and you don't do one leg up, fantastic chair, wonderfully fantastic chair. Definitely get the headrest from Atlas, and it will last you. And the price for this is going to be higher, but if you get it refurbished, I really think you're getting a fantastic deal, because then you can start to get into like the $500 range, and that's crazy. You get lower sometimes. Long story short, I love my Herman Miller Aeron. I think it has great support. It's got a fantastic lumbar system that is adjustable. It's just really well made. It's got nice cushioning. It's got good padding. It's got really nice mesh. It can handle these guys. And it is a very comfortable and very ergonomic chair for work, but for anything else, it really doesn't allow you to do that. So that's why we're on a journey for a new chair. I feel as though it's been long enough, and I think there's a chair out there for me. I just haven't found it yet. So here's hoping for the best, and I hope you'll continue on the journey with me on these chairs. And I'm not going to be getting into like super tech specs like, oh man, the cylinders are made out of gold, platinum plated. I don't care. I care about what it feels like. And I feel like there's a missing demographic of people that are 5'10" and taller and have some mass to them. Not necessarily even overweight, but like someone that is 5'10" and 180 pounds of muscle. And, and some cookies. Like the normal average person. So I think that demographic is not talked about enough. I said this in my last video. A lot of the chair reviewers are like 5'6" and 160 pounds, or they're like 5'6" and 200 pounds. And you're like, okay, so yeah, I think that's why a lot of these chair reviews come out differently, because all these chairs are subjective and they're all built for different body types. I feel as though the Herman Miller was definitely built for someone that's like 5'10" or taller and heavier. I think heavy, you can handle it. I remember when I lost a lot of weight, this chair did become a little bit more uncomfortable. So I was like 150 at some point, and I didn't really like the feel of the chair as much. It was a little bit too light. I wasn't getting the full support of the lumbar and the ergonomics of the chair from that weight. So yeah, I feel like you want to be a little heavier for this chair, a little more muscle, a little more mass, and it will do you well. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you liked it, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. If you hated it, dislike. But yeah, let's discuss. I love chatting with everyone. Hit me up in the comments. Let's talk about what chair you have, if you're on a chair journey of yourself, what you think of these prices, how they're astronomically insane, how other companies will it's crazy. Some of these reviewers, like, they will go at you and be like, you're getting an amazing price on something. And they will like attack you if you say anything that isn't what their standard is, what their review was like. Like, you sit in chairs every day. We don't. We sit in one chair for 9 years and then we go looking for another. Or we sit in a chair for 2 years if it's not as good, and then we go looking for another. So I feel like there's some observation bias going on with a lot of these reviews, especially the ones that sell their own chairs. Although, speaking of, we have been in touch with Crandall offices, and they will be sending a Leap version 2 custom to us. So that's really cool. I'm excited about that. I think that might be the sweet spot with their modifications. And I also think that their pricing is absolutely fantastic because it's refurbished. And so we won't be paying more than $600. That's great, right? So stay tuned for that video. I hope it will be helpful to some people, especially after the Fern video. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Okay, well, I would end the video, but Cat says no.